Hello.
Hello, and welcome.
G'day guys, how you going?
Good. Different setup today, everyone.
Bit of a different setup.
It's another Friday. And what's that mean?
That Brett is working from
Working
home today.
from home.
He decided to take a Friday off.
That's it.
Friday.
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 Indeed. Well, different episode, everyone.
Mhm.
So this is episode 86. And today we're going to talk about lots of stuff.
Yeah, it's quite a mix of things.
Yeah.
There's a bit of news. There's a bit of manufacturer's news.
Manufacturing
There's
news.
a bit of event news. There's a bit of news in here. I mean, Brett's been building stuff. Yeah.
And
All
then we
interesting
have
stuff. Bit of news.
more
Stock.
Gundams.
Yep.
What else we have? We've got Prozas, some train stuff.
Mhm.
Just arrived a minute ago. Got a tram. And we're going to talk about Proline Tires. Chunky,
These are
huge.
special
Oh.
ones. Yeah. Does that excite you, Brett?
Oh, I'm pretty excited.
Yeah.
One of these tires should be on your car. Unfortunately, your car is not here, or the tires are not your place.
That's right. It's a bit of an odd situation.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm tipping by Monday that I might in fact have no lawn left.
No
That's
lawn.
No,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I think I'm going to tear it up. I've got heaps on. I've got heaps to talk about. But you guys go first. Show me something. What's
Yeah,
the
what do you
car?
got?
What?
Who's-
That's not a tire. Wow.
They're donuts.
that's it. Anyway, we'll talk about this later.
Yep. All right. What should we start with?
I think I should start with adjusting the camera.
Adjusting the camera. What's wrong with the camera?
It's cutting your head.
How's that?
That's better. I'll adjust the BJ. Afternoon, Tony. Afternoon, Rob. So it's Tony Rob joining us. I think we should start talking about the Vintage Bash.
Yes.
What do we think?
We think it's really awesome.
I think so
It's
too.
fantastic. So if you don't know what the Vintage Bash is all about, it's an event that Tony, Lou, and Aaron are organising that we're supporting, and it's going to be held at the Keilor Off-Road Car Club, and it's going to be all about running and admiring all the retro RC cars,
Yeah.
particularly from the 80s, and it'll be really interesting if anyone brings anything from the 70s. So that's is that October we're looking at?
End of October.
End of October
29th,
is
30?
where we're looking at. Yep.
29th and 30th. Yep.
Yep. So all the details are just getting finalized and organized. So it'll be a little while yet before we know exactly
That's
what's going to happen, but the date's already been set. So if you're interested, just have a look at the Facebook event. Mark your interest there so you can get all the latest updates. And there's also a forum that's been really popular. It's been running red hot. Hasn't it, Brett?
And it has been
Every day.
and it has been dominating my Facebook feed since it started on Monday.
Has been.
And it's
So
grown
there's
to,
a lot
I
of,
saw last night, I think we've grown to 180 members.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
amazing,
Quite a
isn't it?
lot for something
Yeah.
that you think would be such a small niche group. It just goes to show that, how crazy it is, It's
Well, we all
super
love
cool.
it. So,
We've been doing I think a video this week has been released about me doing a frog. I think episode 1 came out this week, didn't it?
it did. Came
Oh, you
out
can't
like
give it
yesterday.
away. It's like
Oh,
seeing the ending.
No, there's already episode 3.
All right, so this is
Sorry,
this is what we're doing, basically. So
episode 1 of 27 are here, isn't it? 27?
I'm going for a blockbuster, that one, yeah. No,
You're gonna beat me, mate.
I think we're up to episode 2, isn't it? 2 episodes?
3.
3
I think you've
episodes, sorry. I forget, 3 episodes.
so the first one's gone out. So
Yep.
we've got the open boxing on YouTube.
Yep.
And then the first episode of your build has gone out yesterday. And then the second one will go out next week. So it'll be a weekly sort of show to look forward to. And it's all about Brett building your lovely frog, because you had a frog when you were a kid.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
how you go about building stuff.
That's it.
And we were thinking either two things with this, weren't we? We were either thinking to sell it as a limited edition build or
Yep.
to take it and race it. So I suppose we'll see if
Option
there's
2.
interest. It depends whether it comes up in box art or race colours, I suppose.
I think it could be a limited edition raced kit. So you can
Oh,
use
that
it.
could be, yes. Yes. I have a bit of history behind it.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's
So
right.
you need
That's
to
right.
clean it. Leave the dust there.
Talking
Oh,
about
that'd be
a bit of
amazing,
history
actually.
behind it.
So what cars, including one that Brett is showing us, are suitable for the Vintage Bash?
So wasn't it a date of anything that was originally released before 1990. Was that it, or
No.
2000?
Pre-2000. So anything released
2000
or pre-2000 or a
Okay.
re-release of that kit thereafter.
Yep. Okay.
So
there's a lot to choose from there.
Hey?
There's a lot to choose from.
Oh, there's a massive amount to choose from. Like I said, so you could be like just a brand new frog off the shelf. You know, it doesn't have to be a 40-year-old car.
Yeah.
And the motors are sort of open. The speed controllers are open. You know, they're trying to limit it to either a 27-turn brushed motor configuration. So either a Mabuchi or sports tuned even, which is 23-turn, or a stock motor, which was a sealed can stock motor we used to race back in the 80s and 90s. Either that way, or you can go to a 21.5 censored brushless configuration. So I think there's going to be a mixed bag, and like, you can't expect a frog, a hornet, or a grasshopper to necessarily race against a XXX Lossy if they turn up on the day. So they'll all be graded and put into their own things. And it's not cheap stations. It's all going to be about fun. It's all going to be about community. And reliving some great memories, I suppose, and creating new ones.
Just looking forward to driving these old cars all together again.
Yeah, you know, seeing them go around.
But when you got a whole bunch of them together and you see them, it's good. Really good fun. Definitely.
It is really good fun. So the vintage stuff is, like I said, it's been such a talking point this week. It's been super exciting.
Definitely.
Another thing coming up, I suppose, in a couple of weeks is the Wodonga SummerSlam. And they've closed entries for that. So
Full.
Yeah, there was that many entries because they're on such a tight deadline. Like they want to finish racing at 10 or 11 p.m. You know, because it isn't a twilight event where racing wasn't going to start till 2. They've had to close entries and actually bring it forward to start at time of 1 o'clock.
Well, it shows how many people are eager to go out racing.
Very keen. Yeah, following the Kilo Victorian titles of a couple of weeks ago, and then
that was really
another big event. So people are definitely keen, which is great. Finally, after 2 years of on and off, I think we're now making the most of it.
Absolutely.
So it should be good. So still talking about some of this vintage, I can see Rob has a Yakima 870C.
Wow.
Has he now?
Yeah.
I had an 870C.
But he's concerned that parts may not be quite available already. So a bit of a shame to...
I saw one on Marketplace just the other day. I think it was $2,500. So you can get spare parts and buy that one at spares.
That should be good. But lots of new releases too that you could bring. I guess
that's right.
Tamiya, we mentioned a few Tamiyas, but also Kyoshi is bringing back the...
Well, that's pretty big news too, isn't it?
Optima Mid.
Optima Mid. Okay, so there's the Optimas that come out. The Ultimas have been out.
Yeah.
And now, you know, the earlier stuff too, the Pegasus and all that sort of stuff. But Optima Mid, that was sort of at the point of the early designs getting into more competition type.
That's it.
So I was getting more serious into performance, and a lot of people are after one. And knowing from the previous Optima release and the Phantom releases, they're probably going to be quite limited to begin with.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so. So we put our orders in.
Yep.
But we don't know how many we're going to get.
No.
And based on the pattern of the last, 12 or 18 months or so, we probably won't be opening pre-orders.
Yep.
But once they're here, we'll give you instruction how to get one.
That's right. So make sure you subscribe to our newsletter, because people that subscribe to the newsletter get the first pick or the first news on how to get the limited product. And seeing that these sort of things are very low in allocation.
And to get our newsletter, you can just go to our website, go to our store, and sign up there.
That's it.
So cool.
Should be good.
So Shane, hello, Shane. Simon is there. Good audience tonight. Great.
So the 870C Yokobo,
yes,
don't have to run it, but it'll be great if you bring it, because there's going to be like a show area as well.
That's
just
right.
So everyone can show off your rides. You don't actually have to ride it. Just have it there and park it.
That's it. So
we're going to have a marquee or a tent set up, weren't we? Well, that's the idea at this stage.
Yeah.
Concours d'Elegance. Is that what we decided
Concours
on?
d'Elegance. That's it.
That's French.
And we're going to have...
I don't think we do that kind of stuff in Italian.
That way we can have all the cars in one section. So,
yes,
hopefully it's a bit like safer, secure, and everybody can just come to one area to look at them. or have
big
numerous
car show.
tables and shelves. Yeah, just a car show. People can talk.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be good. Looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Should be really good.
Still have to work out what sort of car I'm going to have.
Still have 8 months to go.
Yes.
Maybe 6.
Maybe.
But
No,
before
not the
then-
pace I work on things.
But before then, have you painted your body for the Velodrome?
I
Yeah.
painted something else in preparation for painting the body. I've been experimenting with paints.
So it's going to be a clear body at the Velodrome, isn't
Yeah, with some paint samples next to it.
it?
You're gonna stick spoons on it.
Yeah, I've got some spoons where I tested things. That'd be interesting. Aerodynamic.
Very aerodynamic, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right,
That's
so
right.
Velodrome is coming out very, very soon.
That's right. So don't forget Velodrome. So yes, we're all excited about the Vintage Bash, but we're also excited about Velodrome.
That's it.
And that's something that I got to pull my finger out as well and get the car ready and get a nice brand new pretty design body ready for it as well. So
So I'll have my GT back. Brad is going to put some GT tires on his buggy, isn't
Yes.
it? Is that the plan? Look at that.
That's the plan. Put some
That's the
GT
stickiest
tires.
tire you
Well,
can find.
I've actually got those big comical tires. I'd actually really like to see if they would go.
I think so.
I like to see that,
You
right?
need a liter of TDK per wheel.
I've shown them before, but yeah, they're just about the same size as the X-Max wheels. Not quite,
It
but
must be under the pillow.
they're massive. Where is
They're
it?
really wide too.
They're huge. They're truggy tires. Here we go.
There's not much difference there, is
So
there?
I think you put that one at the rear and the other one at the front. That looked really good.
And the center diff should last half a lap.
Oh well. We got spares.
Yeah, but you don't want to be
Pit
fixing
stop,
it on
change
the
the
day,
diff
do
for
you?
the pit stop.
So I think these are going to be really cool, and I hope that'll also it should help with the gearing as well.
Yes.
That's my biggest reason, because the buggy with the standard gear and without milling the chassis and putting a custom spool and stuff in the middle, I think this could be what we need to go from that sort of ratio up to
Yeah,
that.
this one. Yeah. It's huge.
So-
Huge difference actually.
Yeah, do it. We need to see it go.
It's only going to go straight. They're not going to be able to turn, isn't it?
Well, we don't need to turn much on the Velodrome anyways, or
That's
do
true.
you only use a very, very slight amount of steering angle.
Yeah. So it should be good. Should be good.
So what were you talking about before? You were looking at the
Yeah,
car
we
of the week,
forgot about
weren't you?
this.
Where's the car of the week? It's a little baby thing.
Orange.
What do we need to know?
Well, the last time we picked something that was really difficult, and we
Oh.
thought, well, let's make it not so difficult, but it's still difficult. So this is a little car this time, because I know
So
there's a
how
lot of
difficult
cars.
is it on a scale of 1 to 10?
How difficult is it?
I think it's 12.
Pretty hard. I wouldn't have picked
I
it.
have the color already.
The color.
It's 9 steps.
Right. Excellent. Excellent.
Okay, so what do we need to know? The make,
Yep, the make,
the model.
Yep. And well, this one's got a particular name to it because
That's
it's a
it.
concept car. All right, let's see how you go from there.
And the year, perhaps.
Yes, and the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be good.
All right. So. Oh,
Too
very
small.
small.
Yeah.
Too small. All right. I'm gonna get closer.
Is it all blurry now?
The closer I get, the more out of focus it is. So.
That's so blurry.
Well, I have an idea. Let's see. All right, that's better. Hopefully.
What have you got?
What is it? It's got 4 wheels. It's got 2 doors.
All right. As we go along, we'll probably put it in focus.
Yeah, all right, fair enough.
All right. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, all right.
See what
Cool.
happens.
There we go.
So, shall we carry on talking about the new releases?
Why not? Should we talk about the new releases?
I think new releases.
Okay.
Announcements, effectively.
All right. So what do we have to start with? We've got the Kyosho Fair that was yesterday or the day before.
Yeah.
So seeing with a lot of places still locked down all around the world, the manufacturers have been doing their own little showcases. So usually all these sort of things are shown off in January at Nuremberg in Germany. But since that's all not happening, we've got Kyosho. They did their Kyosho Fair and announced some Kyosho product. And the biggest one, of course, is what we've already mentioned. So it's the 1/10 Optima Mid. And they were very sneaky and they showed off an Optima Mid Turbo there as well. But the Optima Turbo, we don't know anything about that yet. Don't know what the difference is, and we don't know when it's going to be released. But we do know that the standard Optima Mid is due for release in the middle of this year. They also had an anniversary model of the Mini Z GTR, 24 scale, in Neurochrome.
Merochrome.
Yep, which
Yeah,
looked pretty interesting.
shiny.
Yep. And they had other things too, but they were two major things. Apart from that, we had Tamiya as well.
What about the new phaser that's coming?
The new phaser. The phaser, you were talking about the phaser. What was about the phaser again?
The Hakusuka, the
first that's right.
GTR.
The first ever GTR.
It's got that really retro, cool, detailed body onto that entry level 4-wheel drive touring car. And that Kyosho class is really popular in regional Victoria, particularly.
It is.
Out at Go, they get a huge turnout for them there. And that body is fantastic. And I think a lot of people are going to buy that just to have on their shelf. Like a lot of people who even aren't even into RC, they'll just buy that because it looks really, really good.
Well, when you see the press shots, they've got it on these very low angles and it actually looks like the real thing.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because that era car had a lot of chrome and a lot of detail on it. Yeah. Looks really good.
Kyosho with the phaser range have been producing some really cool bodies in the last few years. So that's a new one there, but they had some really interesting one last year as well. So very, very good.
They did a lot of American muscle cars last year, didn't they?
Yeah, that's it.
Which really isn't our scene, but probably the American market, I imagine.
Oh, it would have been huge over there.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely.
So now they've gone obviously to the Hakusuka, so the first ever GT, the GTR, sorry, the first ever Skyline GTR, if you will. So
that's it.
Yeah, it's going to be super cool.
So Jeff here is obviously racing one of those. You can see here from his little photo.
Oh, cool.
And he's just suggesting that he's racing a Bendigo. So Bendigo is one of these clubs racing this Kyosho class.
It's huge over there, apparently, isn't it?
Definitely.
Yeah,
definitely. So should be good.
Yeah. Okay, so that was with Kyosho.
And
apart from that, we've got Tamiya. And I've actually got a list here because I'm not going to remember all these things. So I'm going to have to read off
There's 2 pages of.
There is. Okay, so some of these things they did announce a bit earlier. So I'll just rattle them off as I go. So there's a new Scania 770 truck. There's the 1/16 scale Centurion, which is in radio control and full option. So full option is basically the ones with the sound effects and also the flashing lights and such. We've got
a Ford pre-order for that.
We have. That's right.
Wow.
We've got a Ford Bronco. So it's a later Bronco, the 2021. That's on the CC02 chassis.
Yeah.
The Opel Calibra Cliff. So that was a very classic chassis, really good looking German touring car chassis. That's going to come out on a TT01 body. Also in radio control, Alpine 110. We've seen those before. You normally see those in metallic blue, but this one's going to be Jägermeister colors, so orange.
Is that on the MO platform?
On the what?
Is that on the MO platform?
That one's going to be on the TT01 platform.
TT01.
Yep. And then next we've got the Alpine. The Alpine's on the M06 platform.
Small.
Oh, it is on the M06.
Yeah. So that's the orange one.
I thought they had it before in Alpine in the M chassis, isn't it?
Yeah, it would have been because they're a very tiny car. Yeah, but I can't remember which chassis they used on the earlier one. It may not have been a 6, right?
No, something earlier. 2 or something. Yeah.
Okay, then we've got the Tyrrell, the 6-wheeler. So that's coming out again. That's going to be the split color one, the blue and the white.
That's right.
The Mexico Grand Prix. So we have seen those before, but they disappear pretty quick because they're an iconic RC car. And if you don't know, I mean, to me, I love their Tyrrell 6-wheeler because they actually have a real one in their museum.
Oh, wow.
The Mercedes-Benz C11. So that's the, what do you call it? It's the endurance Group C type Le Mans car. That's going to be, it doesn't actually say which chassis. I assume it's going to be on a Le Mans style chassis.
Yeah.
I would think because they're very low body. And then they've got a new TRF car, so the 420X
racing kit.
Yeah. So the 420's already been out. It came out last year, and the X version looks like the only differences are really the movement of the motor. So it's been moved forward a bit, shift the weight.
So it's probably very much mid-mount now because from memory, the previous one was not quite mid-mount. Was more mid-mount than before, but not quite 50-50 from memory, wasn't it?
It was like a mid-mid-mount.
A mid-mid.
Mid-mid.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so they're using the belts off the TA08, I think.
Okay.
And also the suspension.
Right.
So they've upgraded that a bit. From there, we've got the a brand new M08R chassis kit.
Yeah.
So full racing version of the latest mini chassis. There's also a new XV02 Pro chassis.
Yeah.
So the XV series is their rally chassis.
That's it.
Which would be interesting to see running
Definitely.
around. I'm actually I'm I don't understand why rally hasn't picked up.
Isn't it? I agree.
Like somewhere like Templestowe or even at Keilor, the on-road track that's not used
That's
anymore.
perfect.
Yeah, you just pop on some gravel, bit of sand, off
And
you
it's
go.
really rough enough that you can actually do it.
That's
It's
it.
got quite a few bumps now.
Yeah.
To be
Maybe
honest, Keilor's probably smooth enough for those rally cars to get around quite well.
Yeah.
Oh, even the 1.8.
Not off-road
Yes.
track.
So the off-road truck, it would be perfect for that.
Oh, yes, that's right.
It's a good point.
Yeah. So from there, we've got the Astute 2022.
Yes.
So that's the new car, which is based on the Super Avanti.
Yeah.
So those all brand new. They've the rear end will be very similar to that particular car, and then the front end is all brand new. It's going to be more streamlined. So we've got the Super Avanti here.
Yeah.
So it's got that retro feel. So the Astute is going to have similar sort of mud flaps, inboard shock on the front end. Rear end will be pretty much the same. So they're sharing components, which makes sense there. And then from there, let's flip over the page. What else we got? We've got a CC02 chassis Land Rover.
Yep.
Then we've got the Subaru Impreza. Doesn't actually say which one, but this is Mexico Grand Prix. TT01. So it could be one of the, what do you call the bug eye, the length bug eye? Maybe it's one of that one, I think. I saw. The Avanti is back, the black version. Okay, the black version has been out for a few years now. And this is one of those ones which is not just because it's black, it's actually got carbon fiber chassis in there as well.
Oh, wow.
So that's going to be sought after. In kits, the Renault RE20, that's the F1 car, the yellow and white one, which was around quite a lot during the 80s and 90s. You could find them everywhere and hasn't been around since. It's going to be reissued with photo etch parts and then also Cartograph decals. So nice thin decals. Because if you had one of those old kits now, those decals would have all cracked.
Would be filmed apart.
Okay, and from there, we've got a new US Infantry Scout Set. So very similar to the German set they released. They're using some of their scanning technology and they're getting the faces and all the poses really nice. So these are exceptional. Tamiya are always known for the 35 scale figures, but these are really good. Okay, so that's US set. And then 48 scale, there's a couple of tanks coming out. There's the Challenger 2, which is the big main battle tank of the British. And then also the Tiger 1 early production.
Very good.
So that's the first version that they first saw in Northern Africa. So it's got all the air filters on the back. And that's the one that the British actually captured. And it's the only running one left that's in Britain now at the Bovington Tank Museum. And then a really exciting thing in aircraft is the 48 scale Lightning. They're bringing out a P38J version. The original ones that came out, what was it, G and the H, they were very, very popular, simply because the engineering was out of this world. It's like there's a new series of kits and all the surface details are just amazing. So J version being a bit more popular, that'll be great. And then they've got a couple of others. There's a Horch, and then also a new 1-ton half-track, which are German. The 1-ton half-track looks a bit funny because it just looks like a big car with tank tracks on it. And then the Horch, I've got a feeling that the Horch is actually using quite a few components from Italy with new Tamiya figures. But that's a fairly extensive list.
And just at the beginning, really.
That's right.
There'll be more coming toward the year.
That's right. And obviously,
is that all going to be like one shipment? Do you think? Is that all going to be one lot? Or
no, they've actually got different dates here. So this is split
May,
between
April,
June. So this is from first quarter to second quarter. Yeah. And then for the later half of the year, they'll probably announce all those things as they traditionally do at the Tokyo Hobby Show. So we'll see what happens there. But this is already pretty exciting.
Big list. Yeah, definitely. Some nice RC as well.
Yes.
The 48 scale kits is nice to see a few new ones because 48 has been a very interesting range for us.
It has.
We didn't used to do too much in 48 scale armor.
Yep.
But it's definitely getting a lot more traction now.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, you can fit a lot more in, say, a diorama with 48 scale.
That's it.
So basically, a 48 scale kit is half the price of a 35 scale kit. And it has very similar detail, although it's simpler, of course, because it's smaller. But they still look very, very good.
That's it.
Yeah.
So should be good.
Very
good.
Okay, so that's to me.
Right.
It's really good. So I think I was just remembering back with the 75th anniversary, right? So I've just opened up a different event, which is like a tribute page for Hearns Hobbies 1945 to 2022. So the whole idea is we'd like you to share your experiences with us, old photos, or even just stories. Even staff from before, just please pop
Reach
in.
out.
Yeah, that's right. Because I'm sure everyone would like to hear a little bit about your experience with the store. We'd love to hear your experience. And at the end of it, we'd like to put it all together and make some sort of volume, either a book or
digital format. We'll
that's
see.
right.
We'll see what we
just
get.
so we've got some history that can be held on for future generations.
That's
as well.
right. Big opportunity, really.
Yeah. So that's on Facebook too.
That's
so
it.
It's set up as an event, but feel free just to add into the discussion whatever you'd like to mention about the store.
Very good.
Okay, so what should we move on to now?
What's that Gundam thing? What have you got, Brad, there? Do you want to show us something, or shall we carry on with some Gundams?
I saw you holding a stick.
Oh, dear.
A stick?
What is it?
That's a wounded gizmo.
Oh, no. You love the gizmos.
So, meanwhile, someone is actually guessing the car.
Oh, okay, all right. What have we got? What have we got?
This guy here that we know very well.
Yes.
69 XW Ford Ute surfboard.
You're pretty close, but it's got a specific name.
Yeah, the name.
Yeah, it's a very specific
very close,
name.
Very close. But
but look, you're 90% there, so we've got to give you all the credit for that. Yeah, but it's got a special name. So yeah, if you can find that,
we can't make it any more difficult because there's not a specific name for the color.
Yeah,
but
you got most
of it is there. Yeah. Someone must have been scanning through the website for the past 30 minutes to find it.
You reckon?
Google Images for sure.
Yeah, I think so. He's got some special AI to recognize things.
Well, he must have really good eyes. That's tiny.
So
what's that?
A little bit of the wash up from our 2022 Vic Titles campaign. We've got a much better looking YZ4 SF2. This has been getting a complete rebuild and do-over after the event. Now, unfortunately, this poor car suffered a motor failure in heat number 1 for Nick, with Nick behind the wheel. And it's not a surprise because
I had to say you're behind the wheel.
That's not Nick's fault. No, it's only been very recently fitted with a fan, so it had a long time without a fan. So
anyway, who fit the fan? No, me.
The fan fault.
I think it's run hot a lot of the time, and the motor has in fact did in fact fail, and I think it wasn't just worn out. Like I think the back bearing collapsed, and the rotor smashed into the sensor board. Now, unfortunately, when that happens, that creates a lot of electronic noise. And is known to also take out the ESC. So I was actually speaking with young Simon Healy before, and he said, yeah, the CPU unit in the ESC, the speed controller, will be fried from what's happened, from that bearing failure. So it's a very unfortunate thing. But yeah, so it's just components coming to the end of its life, and realistically, like I said, was probably making a noise that probably shouldn't have been making 6 months ago, but
you know what it means now.
Driven until it stopped.
It's going to be a rocket.
It's going to be a rocket. So I actually put a new motor in it because the motor definitely failed. Wired it all up, plugged it in, and the steering servo works, but no throttle, no blinking light, no throttle. So that speed controller is as good as gone. And that is an old Orca R32. So it's probably vintage.
It is vintage.
It's time for a new Orca.
We actually repaired that speed controller probably 13 times.
Yeah.
Really?
So yeah, that speed controller was new 5 years ago.
Right.
And someone repaired that speed controller several times.
Right.
And it's gone through quite a few set of ends, and it's been sad.
Well, maybe we could put it on a plaque. Put it on a plaque, and it could be part of the history of the 175th celebrations.
That's
right.
it.
So that brings me to the unboxing of a new Orca OE1.
There you go. There's a fresh Orca.
So I won a new speed controller at the raffle by the look of it.
Yeah, not quite.
No, wasn't it? Okay.
Unfortunately, you might have won a box, but we fixed that.
Nothing.
That's right. So in the unboxing, of course, so this is the current model. This is the OE1. So this is the full speed version. And by full speed, I mean it's the high current, so down to 3.5 turns, fully adjustable turbo boost and everything. And not so much that we'll be needing it in four-wheel drive stock class, which is a 13.5 turn and blinky, but the cars do get hot. Like, it does work hard. So we're probably best to put a more powerful speedy in it, and it'll probably last, no reason why it won't last another 5 years. So really well presented, beautiful speedy.
Profile those.
Yeah, they are, but they're also like quite chunky. They're all alloy case on these full speed ones, and it uses the whole case as a heatsink, so it dissipates as much heat. You notice that there's no wires sticking out of it, which is really good. So we're only going to have the one plug that goes to the receiver, so you can cut and modify that to suit your car without having to solder onto a circuit board. Yep. This speed controller doesn't use an external switch, which some people like and some people hate. I'm a huge fan because once you turn the transmitter off, the car's like non-functional anyway. It's not like the old days where if your car went offline, then the speedy knows that the transmitter's turned off or that it's lost signal, and it goes into fail-safe. So that's pretty cool. So we'll do that. We'll mount a fan, solder it up, and stick it in. Yeah. So that's the OE1, and that comes with the capacitor kit that'll go on there. And one of the finest features about Orca, and a lot of people, excuse me for using my teeth.
Run out of scissors today, caveman.
Well, if you saw my workbench, I've buried my hobby knife somewhere and I can't find it. This Orca wire is absolutely regarded as one of the best in the business. Now, that is 13 gauge. So it might seem like an odd size, but it's actually perfect for our application. You can see here at the strand of the wire, it's actually proper copper. So it's not tinned copper, it's not, plated copper. It is proper raw copper. So, which is really good, really flexible, a really high strand count. Super conductive, really good quality silicon. The only thing when working with this wire is you do have to know what you're doing when you're soldering, because the flux can run up the wire and stiffen it up. So this wire can be a little bit harder to work with, but once you know what you're doing or you've practiced, does yield really good results. So it's really good, really popular.
Brilliant.
The other thing that's going to go into that speedy when it comes in is it's going to get some flashy. It's going to get some flashy battery plugs.
I have not reversed polarity in a while. Just saying.
But aren't these called the heatsink battery plugs?
Okay.
No, that's actually the taller ones. So
is it?
These are at a touch of class. These are low profile.
Right.
And that's because the positive terminal actually sits under the diff. I would have used the other ones, but that sits under the center diff sort of carbon fiber. But they do add a certain amount of class and quality to your car under the hood. They're a bit of a bling accessory.
They already look really good in the package.
Yeah, and they are red and black, so they will hopefully help avoid a reverse polarity situation.
Indeed. Cool. That's it.
So that's what's on the bench.
By Monday, I should have a functional car again. If I'm allowed to use it again, probably not.
Yeah, just go really fast.
Probably not. Probably they won't connect the battery when I have to use it, so that I don't break it.
We're just adjusted to work on one cell.
One cell, okay. Double A's for me. Walking speed.
Right. It's funny actually, because when I was a kid, like obviously, like my older brother used to race and he had fast cars, but they actually made me a 3-cell battery pack.
They did.
And because they were mechanical speed controllers back then, they didn't care like now. They didn't have voltage cutoff.
Lower voltage.
So it would still operate, and they had the separate receiver pack for the servos, so that didn't affect the servos at all. So that you could have a fully functioning car with half the power. So maybe we'll have to do something like that.
Yeah, I think so. A quarter of a cell. Can we do a quarter cell?
No. No, like I said,
Cool.
Nick, I'm sure it wasn't anything that you've done. I think it was just components reaching the end of their life
I think so.
probably not being as well serviced and maintained as they maybe could have.
That motor has done lots of racing at Boronia, actually. And that speed controller too. That was on my BD10 when we were racing at Boronia. So with Simon, we've done quite a few nights racing, and lots of dust and dirt goes there. And you tend to finish racing, chuck the car in the car, go home, and repeat. So often, as you perhaps suggested, not much maintenance. And with these motors are revving like some crazy RPMs, the bearings, either need maintenance or these things happens.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
that's it.
And that's the beauty, or the, I suppose, the double-edged sword of having brushless motors now, is that we rarely even touch them. Like we only take them apart or do anything when there's something wrong or there's a noise or whatever. Not like the old days where we used to have to take them apart after every couple of batteries. Now we don't touch them until the smoke comes out.
That's it. And it doesn't really happen too often, to be honest,
No.
They're generally pretty reliable, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah, you can run them hot and you can run them like hard, and they'll still last years of fun. You know what I mean?
As Brett suggested, that motor went hot a fair few times actually. So hot, very hot.
It means you're trying really hard.
I was going really fast in that sense.
That's right.
Light speed.
That's it. Yeah. Cool. So,
all right. So what are we going to look at now?
Is it Gundam time?
We can do Gundam time.
All right. Let's switch. Brett, you're going to get small now? Here we go.
Okay, small.
All right. So we're going to get this huge dude here.
All right. So this is a Zaku.
Oh, Zaku.
So it's not exactly new, but it's a reissue that hasn't been around for a long time.
Right.
So this particular one, it's a MG, so it's quite large, 1/100 scale. So this is the medium size of the Bandai Gundam type kits. But being MGs are very popular because the MG ones tend to have a lot more joints, more parts than the high grade versions. And then it's also, on the flip side, it's got less parts than a perfect grade. But they're big enough. I mean, they're going to be about this sort of size, so 30 centimeters or so, and they're packed full of bits. So this particular version is the Matsunaga customized version. So there's a particular character within the Gundam world. And here we go. So this is the, we always talk about the very specific Bandai type plastic where they have the multiple colors. So you can see how there's multiple colors in here, all designed so that there's no need to paint. You can just cut the pieces out, click it together.
And you paint a bit of panel lining if you want, or you do that with the Gundam marker, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah.
Which is a pen.
Or you can go full on
and paint.
That's right. Cover everything, do the weathering.
What is this little? This decal is quite cool, actually.
Like that? That looks like a White Panther. Is it? I don't know. I have no idea what it is. But it's right there.
I can see here.
That's that.
What is it?
Character. It's on the shoulder pad.
Has he got a tattoo?
Yeah, I think so.
A shoulder one.
I think Warrior Dick, this one. It looks like all weathered.
Yep. So this will look really fantastic in the whitewash. So if you just like really dirty looking.
Yeah.
So I guess the other thing that's really interesting on these ones is this is just a part of the mastery of Bandai.
Yes.
These are the actual tubes which are around the helmet. So these are like the oxygen tubes, I guess. And you see that it's actually two materials which are molded onto one. Okay, so similar to their multicolored sprue, this is actually multi-materials on another. So you've got a flexible material underneath. Let's say these can actually
flex.
Yeah, that's right. And you could bend them to any sort of curves, and you still have the look about them, but they're not going to fall apart. So amazing engineering. And you can see here they've got multiple bits just for all the joints, so you can do all the action poses. So it's a Zaku, so it's part of the baddie type of character, I guess. So the opposing side. That's it. Yep. So the municipality of Zeon, is it?
Municipality of Zeon. I've got a friend here.
Yeah.
So this is another MG.
This one is huge. So okay, so this is a huge MG. All right, you can see how fat the box is. Because generally these sort of wider boxes, they'll be half this size. Yeah. Now what we've got here is it's a fully spec'd out Gundam. It's got multiple accessory packs. So you can use one for one version, for A version. Yeah. There's B version, and when you combine them, you get C version. Okay, so you might be able to see over here. So you got A version, I think there's A version on this side. You got B version, and it already looks pretty chunky, but if you put them together, you get super chunky. You get the C version.
What the hell?
Huge.
It's massive.
ABC.
That is absolutely massive.
It's like a double
so,
core.
again, it's not new.
Gundam.
So
When are you going to build one of these? When are you going to do a 38-part episode and build one of these?
38. I'm going to go for 40, mate.
This 38 guy only gets half of it, I think.
So Tom was telling me before that he's got one of these in his stash.
All right.
Yeah. So
Of course he does.
pretty impressive. Pretty massive. Okay, so this is just a couple from the latest delivery.
So in the last week, we received 2 monthly deliveries. They're coming for you.
And brand new Evangelion in RG. So RG is the real grade.
That's it.
So real grade is 1 to 144 scale. I think, is this 1 to 144 scale? It wouldn't be. Can't be. So this will probably be in a different scale, but RG is generally known as it's got MG number of parts and quality, but in a smaller HD size. Okay, so the RG there is basically just to indicate that this is a higher grade version than their previous simpler kits. And these are all characters from the newer series of Evangelion. So this is a Unit 3, I think. Yep, EVA 3. And it actually comes with a part which is used on a different EVA. Okay, where is it there? So the yellow one. Okay, so this comes with a big massive shield.
Oh, let's pop it on the top camera, the shield, yeah.
So the Shield of Virtue.
Let's see. There we go.
So here we go. All right, so in this kit, you're going to get EVA 3. You got the Shield of Virtue, which actually is matched up with this EVA here. So which one's the yellow EVA again? I can't read that. I'm sure someone will tell me, because I don't follow Evangelion that much, but I do like all their aesthetics.
I agree.
So basically, in a few of their kits, they'll include an accessory which actually belongs to another one. So they encourage you to get all the different ones, just to match it all together.
So we had the yellow one, then we had the
red one,
and then we had the green and purple one.
Yes.
Are they all the same figure, or are they different figures?
I think the skeleton is all based the same.
Yeah.
And then it's the armor that can vary a little bit.
Variations.
Yeah. So some of the helmets are different. Yeah. And then there's also the color variations as well. So let's have a quick look at these. Because with the Evangelion, they've got these, as you can see, they're very different to a Gundam.
Slender, really.
That's right.
Really cool.
So very athletic. And because of that, there's a trick to getting the joints to look really nice. Now, let me see if I can find... Oh, that's a big chunky bit for the shield.
That's a big shield.
And as you can imagine, the yellow part, that's the outsides of the shield.
Look at it shit together. It's actually nice.
Okay, so you got 3 massive bits.
But that grey and the yellow together are really cool.
Yeah, really good contrast. So let's see if I can find some of the really special bits.
What are we looking at, the joints?
So, just to understand the joints, because it's amazing how far these joints go. Because the knees, for example, actually fold all the way back. So it's not just one single joint piece.
Here are the bits for the joints already.
Yes, that's right.
So you can see them here.
So when you imagine that the figure is not that big, there are so many parts just to make this work. So you've got some arm parts here and some legs. You've got all the multiples of the hands. Okay, so they always give you options for the hands to give it different poses. Either open hands, or you got gripped hands,
or just holding something.
That's right. And then you got all the multicolors
that's it.
You're famous for. So yeah, beautiful. So brand spanking new. Now we're not going to get all that back in the same way, are we? Because I can't remember how it came out.
Never.
How's that? I can go over here.
That's it.
Yeah. Chuck that in there.
Put this front here, and there we go.
All right. Okay, so that's the Evangelion. Oops. What? There we go.
We got back. Sorry again.
Evangelion 3. Okay, so that's brand new. Nice big box, because the other single one is half the size.
Yep. Now we have the Mega.
So the Mega's, so the Mega's back in stock. And the
Mega
is absolutely huge. Okay, there's Mega.
This tall. 440 centimeters tall, roughly.
So really impressive looking. So it's quite a simple build. So this would be perfect for you, Brett.
What are you trying to say?
It's nice and big. You like big stuff. So it's actually it's a simple build, like a high grade.
Yeah.
But it's a massive size. So this is actually bigger than the perfect grades. Perfect grades are 1/60th scale. This is 1 to 48th. And it's of the classic grandpa style RX-78.
Very traditional colors, traditional shape.
That's right. So I guess if you saw, what was that movie again? Something Player One. What was that movie?
I don't know. Which one?
Oh, it's not that old. Ready Player One or something. Stuff like that. Someone told me. So there you go. So these are classic. And
I saw a movie once.
Did you? Was it good?
I don't know. I didn't like the ending.
It's interesting how they've actually, on the box, I don't know if you can see here, they've actually got a ruler there just so you can tell exactly how big is it. And that is
really
massive. That is massive. And because it's chunky, it's pretty decent too. So you get a bit of an idea here. All right, so there's your fully built up Gundam. And then it just talks about you don't need any tools. You just push the bits out. No need of side cutters. No need of glue. And then just clip it all into place. Okay, so it's perfect if you're looking for something that's impressive on your mantelpiece.
So what?
Or just want something, just a show off.
Natural enemy of 9 steps.
9 steps.
So should we give like people like a discount coupon off nippers if they buy that one?
Yeah.
See if they take it up.
That's nice.
That's it.
All right. So apart from that, we've got a selection of stuff here as well.
All right.
Let's see if I can understand, because a lot of this I don't understand, but I do like all the shapes. This we definitely understand.
We understand this.
Yes,
clearly.
Why?
Okay.
And it was a friend too, wasn't it?
There was a friend. I don't know. I took the friend away.
The friend is gone already. Taken.
Yeah. Okay, so this is the 30-minute sisters. Okay, so there was a new series called 30-minute missions, which was meant to be kits, and they were mechs that could build up in 30 minutes. So they were worried that beginners were getting sort of bored with long builds, or they're too complicated. So this was a good introduction. And Kotobukiya had this particular market for a long time with their frame arm girls. Yeah, which you've built before and you quite enjoy. So this is the Bandai version. So they don't give you quite as many things. It's a much smaller box, but they're roughly the same sort of size. So they're 1/12 scale, which is like 150 mil. And they have all the joints as well. So this one here's a Kotobukiya one. So it's going to be similar size to that. And these are great for Hey?
Is it like her sister?
Yeah.
It's your position, though.
Yeah. Sister from a different mother.
Yeah.
So, yes. But what Bandai have done is they've made a simpler kit here, as in you don't get as many bits. You still get multiple faceplates so you can get different expressions. But a lot of the accessories are available separately, such as there's hair sets, there's body sets, and weapon sets. And then because it's along the lines of 30-minute missions, you can actually mix parts of the mechs or the robots with these as well. They click into place. So you can change, like click the head onto a mech, or you can incorporate different armor parts. So these are really good. So if I quickly open this up. So Rachette is one of the earlier kits. I think it's one of the first ones.
Uh-oh.
You having a problem there? Are you having a problem with your frame arms girl?
Yeah. Sorry.
Right.
Oh dear.
Oh no.
I don't know if you should continue. It's getting worse.
We'll like it here.
We'll look at this thing.
Anymore.
All right. So if we look at the overhead camera. Thank you. All right. So there's Rachette, as you can see right there. And here are all these parts. So what you're going to find is a lot of these parts are quite common amongst all these figures, but the color combinations are going to be different.
There's actually lots of parts considering such a small size again.
Yes. And then the hair set. So you'll be able to get that as an option in different colors, different styles.
Cool. Yeah, the hair in multiple parts as well.
Yes. And then within there too, these are all the hinge type parts. They're all common. And then these are the faces. So the faces have already been pre-painted. Yeah. So you get 3 versions.
Pre-painted faces, that takes all the work out of doing the eyes, surely.
Well, that's it. The eyes are the hardest part, for sure.
Right,
that's the head part. And then you've got the neck sections. So there, and then you've got there's that multicolored sheet. So you've got the tops of the thighs, upper parts. You've got some what do you call those, big power gloves. And then there's a selection of different hands as well. So gripped hands and open hands. And it's a really good series, and actually it's been quite popular. We've always sold out when they come in.
And there's quite a few accessories that you can buy for this one, isn't it? So that's additional armament, body parts, and all kind of things.
Yeah. So here just showing you how you can customize it. So you got this sort of cat-looking girl here, and then you've got her. So these are all the bits that are included in this kit, and they're already the optional sort of big glove thing there. So yeah, they're really nice.
Cool.
Okay, so that's the 30-minute sisters. Pop that over there. All right, now we've got a new Gundam here. This is a Blazing Gundam. what can I say about this? Not a lot because I don't know much about it.
It's a Gundam Bonanza.
It's a what?
It's a Gundam Bonanza.
The 6 boxes just arrived today.
Yes.
Wow.
So this is apparently from Gundam Breaker. So Gundam Breaker, I can only assume, is a new series. So it's probably an introduction right there. So there's a new storyline and probably right there. So there's a link to where to get some more information. So if you don't know about Gundam, Gundam is actually a mixture of multimedia assets. So you've got the kits that go along with the animation or movies, and it just builds a story along. So you can basically build along and play along as you're watching the series unfold. So you got this little chunky dude here, Blazing Gundam. All right, so we'll move him across. I think from the new series of AIM. So this is a brand new series that was released on Japanese television late last year. And we started getting kits through, and they've been incredibly popular. I think it's because it's very easy to watch this anime online. And the designs are quite different, although it's got that familiarity of a suit that's powered by a person inside, protecting and saving the particular community. Okay, so you've got multiple mechs. So this particular one is the AIM Ghost. And then we got the Males Riker. I think it's quite interesting how the Japanese do these funny letter combinations.
That's right.
Just to confuse us, because I don't know how to pronounce it. And then we've just got to look on the side. So it's Males Leiki. So that's this particular character. And then we got these. What's this from? This is from something else.
I thought we had this last week, didn't we? No. Oh, no. I saw that one this week when we're putting it on the shelf, and I found an interesting name.
So this is from Super Robot Wars OG.
That's a different thing again.
That's right. So this is a different animation, and it's got quite a different look. So it's got a really big body and a very small head, as you can see there. It's got a very retro look about it.
That's it.
It's got an 80s like
Transformer.
That's right. It's got a lot of Transformer look to it. Angular shapes and big weaponry. So you've got this big, massive multi-gun there. So there you go. What about there? Cylinder in a revolving stake on the arm turns. Okay, so it's like the Revolver magazine. So there we go. That's new Bandai. Okay, but there's a lot more. This is only a small selection of what we brought out. So pop in. It's been really popular at the moment.
That's right. Bandai is definitely one of the busiest section at the moment. Probably the one that is receiving the most stock as well.
Yes, that's
so
right.
Lots of availability. We believe that towards the end of 2021, the stock was so delayed that it's been accumulating somewhere in Japan or in some parts of the world, and slowly it's filtering through.
Yep, that's a good thing.
That's it.
Yep,
very good, very good.
Okay, so that was all the plastics I think that we got.
I think so.
But what do you got? You've got some big chunky things to show, haven't you?
I think we need to talk about this stuff.
What's that? Is that a hat?
Oh, give it away already.
These are party glasses, aren't they?
Yeah, that's it.
Open it.
Look at the light.
Let me grab a selection of each.
Well, they're pretty huge. So these sand pedal tires, are these the ones you can drive across water?
You call them sand puddles that go on water. They're water puddles.
Well, yeah, you know what I mean.
Yes, so you can definitely drive on water.
You have to go really fast, right?
You need to go really fast, and you probably have to have them, as Tommy was suggesting yesterday, front and rear.
Yeah.
All right, let me put quickly back on here. All right. So that's the X-Max. And these are the sand paddles for the X-Max.
Well, the paddles are really stiff, so you can understand how these actually churn through the sand or even going across the water. It's crazy.
Just think that.
What are you doing with it? You're right there.
Jeez,
heard a bang.
Out of my chair.
So we're going to have a big project coming out probably around mid-April,
right?
Where we're going to need sand paddles,
right?
And so we decided to order some.
Okay.
And we should have a look at a few of those. What do you think?
Yeah, why not? Well, they're the big messy ones. They're the biggest ones, right?
Biggest that we can get. I think there's some for 5th scale.
Oh, okay.
But I think they're almost the same size. So the X-Max, I think, is almost classified as a 5th scale truck, really.
Yeah.
I love to see the X-Max on sand. It does.
Oh, look good.
How
Sure.
is
I played with it on the beach at on New Year's Eve. I was actually playing at the local beach at Hampton Beach, and I don't know. Like the standard tires seemed okay. I can only imagine the devastation that they would cause to the beach.
exactly?
Full roost pedal, I think.
The sand roost would be phenomenal.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I agree. So what we've got here, so we had, is this the same 20, 38? 38, yes.
That's bigger. Is that different? Yeah, it's bigger.
Different type of tires, different kind of nominal diameter. So generally speaking, you have, if you're familiar with the E-Revo, which is probably a very classic large 1/10, 1/8 scale monster truck, you use a 3.8 inches, which is what BJ is holding at the moment.
Is that the max? Is that the max size, the 10th scale monster truck?
Well, this one's got adapters for 17 mil hexes.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think we should have a look at one of those. Maybe I'm going to open one of those, and we can have a good look at what's inside, because they're coming out with new rings.
My mate's not going to be happy now. My mate's not going to be happy now getting them back.
Oh well, if I don't like them, I'll return them.
Well, they're the center hubs, which are the adapters.
So first of all, let's quickly look at this. This is actually, I think this may be new, but look at this interesting profile. So they've got like a small fin and a big one, which is quite interesting.
Well, it sort of makes sense on the Uno, right? So that's the Uno.
That's right.
It's got more pedal.
That's it. So this would be crazy, actually. There's not much insert.
Yeah.
But what BJ is holding is very interesting. So the latest Proline tires come without the big hole in the middle here, without hub. And then you can install the size hub to fit your hexes, which I would suggest in most of those is 17.
Yeah.
But X-Max goes on 23, and then you have some that have, I think, a 14 millimeter ones. And Proline produces these adapters for different X sizes.
Right, okay. Yep.
So just put them on. Yep. And off you go. You can adapt this to different offsets and different cars.
Oh, makes sense.
Oh.
Good,
I thought they were just different offsets. So they're actually different hexes as well, are they?
Different hexes as well. I'm pretty sure you can get different hexes. Someone may correct me, but I'm pretty sure that I've seen that you can put couple of different hexes.
But it makes sense. You can see how the 17 mil is right there.
Yeah.
And then this orifice here is big enough to take the whole nut inside.
Yeah. That's it.
So if you went to a smaller size, that's not an issue.
Exactly. And so that's great. But the good thing is, if you ever break the hex, you're not gonna. You can just replace it.
Yes.
And it does happen every now and then that something goes wrong and you break your hex, and then you have to chuck away a brand new $100 set of wheels.
Yes.
In that case, you can replace it.
Yep.
But I'm really impressed with those.
Yeah, they look good.
This is crazy.
They definitely look good.
So would this be for the front more than for the rear? So you could have a tradition one in the rear and one of those at the front?
I don't know. Is it going to make much difference? Because when you're turning, so if you can imagine if you're turning, it's going to go like this, right?
And tilt a bit. So this is still going to...
So that sort of makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah. So this
because I guess it's like in the early days when we used to race foams, you used to juice only one half of the...
That's right.
The tire. Yeah. So that's the same idea, maybe.
So brilliant.
Very cool.
Good. Like it.
Now, what do we have here? Now, this one's here. I won't open those, but these are 2.8s. These are more for a Rustler type car.
It's interesting how small the tire is, but the pedal still has to be quite protrusive.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, true. So this is for a 10-scale Rustler. Rustler 4x4. That would be a phenomenal car to run on the beach. Besides the fact that you're going to get full of sand, I think we should give a warning here. When you run on the beach, you have to take responsibility for sand and salt going into your motors.
That's it.
As soon as you put salt near your electronics, something can go wrong.
That's right. But most of the time, like for us, we don't mind because it's so much fun. But if you take some care, then it's all good.
And just be prepared if something happens.
Yes.
And it's not warranty. It's nothing you can do. If you clean it well afterwards, specifically, and you dry it properly, then you should be good as well. So just be mindful of that. We're talking about sand, and things are
sand is much more aggressive or much more coarse than dirt that we're used to, or clay. That sort of goes like talcum powder, where sand doesn't break down sand will wear everything to shreds.
That's right.
And the salt water, and if you get it wet, like in the salty water, then it just absolutely corrodes and oxidizes everything.
That's right.
And stay away from them blue ringed octopuses. They're no good either.
Why not?
Because they hurt.
Oh,
do they? Okay. So in this packet here, going back to this, there's 4 different adapters.
Yeah, there's a lot of adapters in that one.
And I would say this one's, let's see if you can see, they're different offsets, I'm pretty sure. So they will be, so they've got a really big one here.
Some really deep ones and narrow ones.
And then a narrow one here. So you've got a couple of different offsets that you can use for your different cars. So that's the Rustler. So you have a Rustler 4x4.
Yep.
This one that we had a look a moment ago is more for the Kraton E-Revo Traxxas Max. Yep. And then the gigantic one that we had a look before is for the X-Max.
But that looks like it requires bead locks. Is that cast into the tire?
This one does. Yeah, it definitely does require bead locks. So we'll have to source some wheels for the X-Max. What else do I have here? One more. Oh, look at that. This is a more traditional Proline tire for the Kraton, Kronos, if it's a Team Corrali, or Max. I think this will fit the Max as well.
Yeah. So that's all 17 mil hex again.
Yeah, it's got the options.
So that would be belted, Nick, so it doesn't expand heaps?
I don't think these are belted, actually. Let me look. They have a range of belted tires. I don't think those are one of those.
Oh, okay.
And 2. No, those are not belted. They are belted. Yeah, you're right. Those are belted. I think
because it's critical sort of on those high-powered cars to, especially if you're running 6S. 4S doesn't seem to be too much of a problem, but when you're running 6S, you really need the tire to be quite, hold its integral shape,
Absolutely.
To help you maintain the control and the balance of the car and control, in fact, because
100%.
they almost become uncontrollable when the tires are really long and really skinny and
That's right. So
it's pretty blocky, and you can imagine how these will work just as well on the road.
I think so. They'd be crazy.
Yeah.
So
that'd be a good all-terrain tire.
Yeah, definitely.
That's it. So,
and this is for sand pedals and different tires. I think sand pedal is something a bit underrated. Really.
I reckon. I think a lot of people are scared to try them.
Also, because once you have these tires, you have to go on soft terrain. You can't go on I don't know, rocky or stones. I mean, I guess you could go on rocks, really, but it has to be soft sand, and that'll be phenomenal. So we now have a full range of sand pedals we've got some 2.2 that you can put on a TRX4 or on a crawler as well. That's really cool.
Yep.
I've done it before. I put a 2.2 once on the Mad Van.
Oh, the Mad Van.
A few years ago. That was phenomenal. So the Mad Van in Dubai a few years ago was on sand pedals, and that was phenomenal. And then we have 2.8, which is for the, I guess, Rustler type 110 scale cars. And then we moved to this more like 1.8 chunky and 1/5 X-Max size tires. Some for everybody.
Yay.
And now you got some more traditional stuff here. But I'm really keen on having a go, guys.
Super cool.
I like how they've designed that pedal.
Yeah, I agree. Which, is very different to the other sand pedal ones.
And I suppose in Europe or in countries that snow, they'd be good in snow as well, I imagine.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, snow and water.
Water.
You said that before.
I did. I'd like to see that.
I think we're going to try in water eventually.
Yeah?
I think we should.
You keen?
Right.
I'll be keen.
So what happened if you run out of battery halfway through your run?
You should know that I can't swim.
Oh, you? Okay, right. So it's me that I'm going to have to collect the car.
Okay, great. You're doing the driving.
Right. Oh, you? Cool.
Yeah. So, hey, we've got a special guest on next week's show.
Oh,
actually, we have a special show as well.
That's right.
Well, a special show, It's not even going to be. We're going to do a special show, aren't we, on Thursday?
Yep.
Now
So-
I can't confirm it. I can't confirm a time yet, but I don't know. Do you guys want to touch on that a bit, or do you want to keep it secret for a couple more days?
I think, how about, I mean, we can always say who's coming in. With the timing, we can always
Advertise
announce
it
that.
later.
Yeah, that's right.
So next
So-
week on Thursday,
Yeah.
there will be a special guest talking about racing cars.
Yes.
Something really special. We've been talking about touring, big scale touring car, nitro, isn't
Yeah.
it? Something we haven't touched on, but something that we probably all of us have lived at some point. Or we
Coming from a long way too.
Pan cars. So these are 8-scale pan cars.
That is a dream. 1.8, 1/10, 1.8, big power, petrol or nitro power cars,
Yeah, nitro power
And-
cars.
and it's a traditional brand, Serpent.
Yes.
Mm.
Serpent is probably one of the first, isn't it?
It's I think it's in all of our minds as the premium brand for 8-scale circuit cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So they're circuit cars. I mean, they started off originally as a Dutch company, didn't they? So they
They
come
did.
out of Holland originally.
That's probably why they have the orange coloring too.
That's it.
Yeah, and they were always unique, and they were the pioneers, I suppose. It's really been the Dutch, I suppose, and the Italians, and the Japanese a little bit that really got involved with 8-scale pan cars. But it's always really toed and froed between the Italians who love it and all their
Yep.
chassis and the
Yep.
Serpent, I suppose. So
That's it.
so really excited to have team Serpent driver on, Jeff Hammond. Jeff Hammond's coming down
Jeff
from
Hammond.
Queensland.
That's
So
right.
Jeff Hammond's going to contend in the 2022 Victorian IC, so internal combustion state championships, Speedy RC state championships, and that's held at Lillardale.
a big, massive track.
MRCCR. Sorry?
That's a big, massive track.
It is a big, massive track, and that is probably it is our premier nitro track. It's the home of the GTE8s when we finally get out there and have another blast. Yeah, so you'll get to see cars out there. That the fastest kind of RC cars still to this date are the 1/8 pan cars. So
I love hearing them change gears.
I agree. On the straight, isn't it?
That's it. When they're changing gears, it just sounds amazing.
So they have a 2-speed centrifugal gearbox, and they obviously have a clutch and very highly tuned motors, very experienced guys. Be the fastest, most prestigious probably RC I suppose that there is, isn't it? Is 8-scale pan cars,
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
just phenomenally fast. I want to say they're about 1,500 grams. 4 horsepower, big fat foam tires. So young Jeff's going to come on, and he's going to bring a couple of his cars in. I believe he's going to bring us a nitro and an electric version. And we're going to talk all things Serpent. We're going to talk all things Aeromax, because he's an Aeromax factory driver, and all things Dash Electronics, which is his favorite electronics brand. So he's a factory supported guy, and he's raced all around the world. He's racing down at these state titles. Yeah, he's from Queensland, and he's going to come and visit us and do a show with us on Thursday.
Good
Brilliant.
stuff. Looking forward to it.
Fantastic. Well, in that case, then we will give an update. I guess probably by Monday or so we'll have a time based on his flights and all that, and we'll announce it on Monday. So next week we'll have a double live.
Yes.
On Thursday and on Friday as usual.
That's it.
Big week.
Absolutely,
Big week ahead.
It's going to be a huge week ahead. So we'll get all the fine details noted out, and then keep an eye on our social media, and you won't be able to miss it.
Excellent.
Cool.
Very good. I think we're done for today, are we?
Well, I've got some God hand stuff that I want to touch on.
Right. Let me put away my favorite tires.
All right, so there's your water tires. All right. There's some more water tires, a big chunk of bunkers. All right, now I'll get this stuff over here. All right, so I've got a couple of packets here. And these are from God Hand from Japan. Now, since I guess it's just a coincidence that we're celebrating our 75th anniversary. Well, God Hand this year are actually celebrating their 10th anniversary, but one year late. So it's actually their 11th anniversary, but it's the 10th anniversary stuff coming out. So with all the stuff that was happening last year, it's delayed it a bit. But it's great to have something to celebrate anyway. Okay, so they've made 2 packs. There's a set A, which is this one here, and a set B. So it's a nice combination of parts in one packet.
Yep.
And they also give you a free special gift in there as well. So set A here gives you the very nice pin vise. So this is amongst the best pin vices you can buy on the market. It's got multiple collets inside, and it'll accept any sizes from like 0.5 mil all the way up to 1/8, so 3.2 mil.
Yep.
And with that, you've got a selection of drill bits, and then also some of their what they call spin blades, or they're also used for fine chisels. So the idea with these is it makes it easy to create a very clean
Flat
and flat drilled hole. So you start off with a drill, and the drill normally gives you that little pointy thing, and then then you put this inside, and then you can scrape it down to be totally flat. So this is what you use for adding extra detail. So it could be like a join detail or a rivet detail, or by themselves you can still use them as chisels for carving things on the inside.
Now, you've done a couple of videos on how to use this tool.
I have. Yes.
So jump on YouTube and you'll find a video on the
spin blades.
Spin blades.
Yeah. Okay, so with those, the free gift is actually this section on the back, and it's very Japanese, so I don't know if you can see there. It's actually what they call norin. So if you've been to Japan, you would probably have seen these in a lot of small shops.
Yep.
But instead of having a door, they've got this very short curtain which you just walk through, and that just gives a little bit of privacy from the road to the interior. So that's actually included, and there you go there. It's actually in a guide hand design. Okay, so there's further indication here on how you can do the details with those spin blades. So that's 2 spin blades used in conjunction with each other to give the extra detail. And this is how you can use it just as a chisel, so mega sharp.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say set A. A set B is quite a nice set as well. Again, they give you the norin inside as a free gift. This one comes with one of their really fine side cutters. So this one is the PN120. It's the tougher version of the side cutters. So the blue one is their SPN. That's their super fine ones. These ones have a slightly thicker blade, but they're still single blade nippers, and it's still very sharp. Then with that, you've got some very nice stainless steel, very sharp tweezers, and we've got the flat it's a file, I guess.
It's a file, yeah.
So it feels like sandpaper, but unlike sandpaper, it's never going to go blunt. Okay, so this one is perfect for using for making totally flat surfaces, and it fits right in the palm of your hand. So here we go there. So you got your nippers here. Okay, make a huge difference when you actually, if you haven't tried these and you start using them, they're just a pleasure to use. They're so sharp, it's just like using a sharp knife. Then you have your very thin tweezers, always handy for picking up small bits. And then we've got the flat file, and then you got your norin there.
Brilliant.
Okay, so if you're after these are available now. They're limited supply because they're only making these for their anniversary, and they're great value when you buy them all together.
That's it.
Yeah. So not only do you get a saving by buying them together, you also get that free norin gift.
That's it.
So God hand, very nice stuff.
Now, before we close today, I know we're running a bit long today. We received literally 5 minutes before we started every stock of Prozas.
Cool.
Now, this has been a long time coming, and finally, we received this. So Prozas is producing all these really useful tools to actually complete your train set and do these kind of jobs that normally get really messy. They can definitely be done without these tools, but when you do them with the tools, they come a lot cleaner, a lot faster. And yes, sometimes you're always trying to save $50 to not buy a tool specifically because you can do it otherwise. But with these, wow.
It's just a pleasure, isn't it?
It's a pleasure. And realistically, it does come a lot neater too.
Yes.
So this is called ballaster. And what do you do? Let's quickly put the top camera. All you do, you put your ballast into this little, actually, something up.
So it's got the hopper there.
Little hopper here. You put your ballast in here, and then you attach this to a train. You pull it around, and it's effectively going to spread the ballast in a perfect way along the railway. So
it'll be totally even as well.
Perfectly even, including on the sides.
Yeah.
So you can have the overflow falling through on the sides, and you can see this is just gonna sit on the rail.
And to make sure it puts the ballast around the rail rather than on top of the rail.
Correct. Now, this kit that BJ is opening now has also the gluing tool. Now, the gluing tool, it's really interesting too, in my opinion. Normally, what you do, you have like a spray, and you spray glue kind of
and goes
everywhere.
It goes just over your tracks.
Yeah. But then with this one, you're a lot more controlled, and it comes really, really clean.
Yep. So basically, you put in a very thin version of the wood glue.
Yep.
Okay, so
normally with soap.
That's right, and it lives in this particular hopper there.
Yep.
So the soap is basically a flow improver.
Yep.
Rather than having the water tension hold it on the surface of all your ballast, it's going to draw it inside. And then it's got a very clever valving system.
Yep.
So with the yellow dial, I guess you call it, as you spin that with your finger, it lifts up the little air blocker here, like a valve. And then every time that's up, it'll allow a little bit of glue to come out.
That's it.
So you're getting pinpoint drops all the way along, and it drops it again in 3 points. So it's always around the track itself, not on the track.
That's it.
There's nothing worse than having to clean your track after you've applied
And
ballast.
drip everywhere.
Yes.
Because as soon as you put your glue on, it's going to start dripping otherwise.
Ah, yes.
So you have the syringe to load it up.
Yep.
And so really clever design. So lots of stuff in their range. There's probably 2 or 3 big boxes there. They've got some magnetic clamps as well.
Ah, yes.
They're
for
really
building.
for buildings.
The cardboard models, right?
That's right, for your cover model. So there is a lot more. We're probably going to bring all this out next week. We might bring a piece of track too and just show how this kind of works.
Yeah, it's really clever how all this.
Yeah. Very cool.
You're a fidgeter.
That's it.
Fidgeting.
Very good.
Yeah, it's cool.
All right. Well, I think with this one, we may be done for today.
Okay.
Let's see if there is any other questions while we tidy up the place. It's been a bit of a mess today.
Do we have a close look at the car?
Actually, we haven't. So let's see.
do the car.
So Simon, before
He got close.
Actually, no.
Oh, he did?
He nailed it. There we go. So he's a Subaru.
Subaru.
That's it.
Subaru.
Not a Subaru. A Subaru.
A Subaru.
Subaru. It's like a kangaroo that's super.
And this is it.
Well, let's do a bit of zoomage, eh? Because it is pretty tiny. Oh, there we go. All right, so you got the surfboard across the top.
It's a Surfaru.
Subaru.
Surfaru.
Oh, you need to bring that down a bit.
Oh, sorry.
There you go.
I'm looking at Brett. Not looking at the camera here. All right, I promise I'll be more attempt.
So it's an XW. So XW Ford with the back chopped out of it. So basically an XW station wagon.
That's
Not
it.
a station wagon, it's a ute.
Ute. It's a ute.
Where am I going? Too much fidgeting I've been doing.
Yeah,
I know.
that's it.
It's got the really nice pinstripes across the side. I mean, this is a little tiny thing.
It's really well detailed, actually. Yeah, as always.
So there you go. So that is a XW Subaru.
Subaru.
A Surfaru.
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 I think I need a break.
That's a tongue twister.
All right, then.
That's been good, isn't it?
That was a good show.
Yes.
Different
Good show.
format again. Just keep it interesting.
Yep.
We're going to keep it dynamic.
I agree. So, lots of events coming up.
That's it.
So we got
So look
the
out.
Velodrome.
Latest one is the Velodrome. And then we've got the Vintage Bash happening in October.
There'll be Model Expo.
There's Model Expo. Actually, between there's Model Expo.
Yeah.
That's right. Vintage Bash. And then we've got our memorial page.
Yeah.
So for any photos, any stories, that's going to be open. I've dated it to the end of this year.
Yeah.
Just as a date, just so it goes up.
Yeah.
But we'll keep that. That'll be open forever. So whenever you feel like adding some of your memories, it'll be greatly appreciated. And I'm sure everyone else would like to see all of that as well.
Agreed. All right, then. So, as always, there is a video going out every day.
There is.
I don't know what we have this week. I lost track of it.
Well, there's a frog build.
Oh, episode 7.
We've looked at quite a few kits. If you're subscribed to the newsletter, you actually get a exclusive video every week. So the exclusive video was the chameleon paint and how to use it. So if you want to see that now, best to subscribe. Actually, if you subscribe now, you won't see it.
No, you'll have to wait.
You'll have to wait for the next one.
For the next
Which
one.
could be different again.
Tuesday or Wednesday, we have this exclusive video going out. 11 week to have this exclusive preview.
Yeah.
And then
So then it gets opened up to the public.
That's it, really. So great.
All right.
All right then.
It's been good.
Absolutely. So everyone, have a good weekend. And again, thank you for joining us.
That's right. Enjoy. So remember, Thursday next
That's
week,
it.
we're going to have Mr. Hammond. And then Friday, it'll be another live.
As usual.
Yes.
Right.
All right.
Thank you for watching.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Bye.